Well, hi, this is Scott Griffith, and we're back with another edition of our Land and Legacy by Griffith Realty. Again, I'm Scott Griffith, the president of Griffith Realty, and my sister Carol, vice president of Griffith Realty, is here. And we have a great guest today that Carol's going to introduce because she knows her a little better. So, anyway, Carol.
I have the privilege today of introducing Therese Cremonte. She is actually the director of emergency management for Livingston County. So she handles the whole county, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her job and what she does and the challenges she has. I'm proud to say that she's been in our community since 1989 and fully engaged in our community and does a great job. She's has a great history in public safety and worked with the state police and actually was the first woman commander, I think, of the state police. In Lansing Post. And but she is the
command officer in the Lansing Post. Yes.
Okay, but I do know that you are the first woman that is the emergency manager for Livingston County. So we're really proud of the seriousness of that department and the great job that you do for the protection of all of us. So I'll let you tell us all what you do, because we're not there every day to see. We are only fruits of your good results of feeling safe.
Well, I'm so glad for that. I want to thank you, Scott, and thank you, Carol, for allowing me to be part of this podcast. This is very exciting stuff. And I can't think of a better place to do this, just because Livingston County is such a unique and wonderful county. And I'm lucky to be a part of it. I'm so honored to actually have the job that I do and to be able to represent the community and help make the county more resilient and safe for the community and the people that live here and the people that visit here as well, because that's very important. They'll also fall under our umbrella if there happens to be an emergency. So we're very welcoming. We love it when people visit, and we love it when they want to stay. So like you said, I've got just over 26 years with the Michigan State Police. I started in 1989. I retired in 2016, late January, and it was a wonderful career. So my very first post was here at the Brighton Post.
I was going to ask you, where were all your posts?
Yes,
so you started here, right?
Brighton Post.
Talk about somebody who knows the county.
Yes.
Wow, inside and out.
Yep, and so I remember, I've been here so long that I remember Ike's Produce on Grand River.
Yeah, right.
And there was literally a no man's zone between Brighton and Howell, which is no longer the case. Not only that, but on Old 23, right there at Grand River, the only things that were on the corner were the old state police post, because they had recently moved to the location at Spencer Road and Old 23. But it was the old police post and a blue Bucky's Pharmacy.
Yes.
Absolutely. I remember that.
I have been here. Yeah. So I got to see up close and personal just the rapid growth and just some of the beautiful progression that we've made in this county over the past 30 plus years. So that's been a real honor. I liked it so much. I married and raised 4 children here.
There you go.
And,
nice.
Great. I like
I'll
that.
do a shout out to Pinckney Schools, because they got all 4 of them through with flying colors. They're all now adults and are college graduates. I'm very proud of all of them.
Oh,
so
that's wonderful.
Again, great schools here. But part of what I do, I thought it was great. The state police, 20 some years spent right here in the county. I've had a lot of adventures.
I'm sure.
And sent to some mobilizations, out of our area, luckily. But it was great. I moved after 20 years. They asked me to come to Lansing and be part of the Emergency Management Homeland Security Division. So I did that.
Wow.
And when I was there as a sergeant, I learned a lot of different things about emergency management. Honestly, it's a discipline that's hard to explain in 20 minutes or less. A lot of facets to it, a lot of moving parts, a lot of considerations. But boy, it was like learning a whole new language. 20-year veteran within law enforcement, and you think, oh, I got this. I understand this completely. And this was a whole new world, whole lot of different acronyms, and I thought to myself, what did I get myself into? This is really something. But it taught me a lot of things. It taught me a lot of things about federal grants. It taught me a lot of things about vulnerabilities and capabilities to help make a community more resilient. It taught me a lot about emergency operations plans and hazard mitigation plans and all of those things that if you start to talk to people at a dinner party, their eyes will roll back in their head. But it's such a needed thing. And but also to go along with plans, you need to have training, you need to have exercises, and all of those things prepare you for actual events that will occur in your community. And what I love about Livingston County is it's so very resilient. And part of our resiliency and part of what makes my job easier, and I will tell you I've worked in other areas of the state, and I've never seen it as strong as I see here in Livingston County. The collaboration between our first responders and our governments, our county and local governments, is bar none the best I've ever seen. And I would tell you, and I grew up in a good county too, but this county, I believe, does it better than anyone else. All of the agencies, fire, police, EMS, which by the way is the only county EMS in the state that I'm aware of, which is that's a whole other discussion. Along with our NGOs like the United Way, Salvation Army, Red Cross, we all work together. Mm-hmm. We all have meetings at least once a month, and we sit down around the table and we have discussions about things that make the community better or issues or concerns that we have and how do we fix communications. And I forgot to say our dispatchers, because our Livingston County Central Dispatch, again, just a wonderful, strong dispatch center. Again, we have taken everything in Livingston County. It could be very fractured.
Sure.
It could be very fractured. That is not good for the citizens. When you have agencies and disciplines that don't speak to each other, there's a lot of redoing things that don't need to be redone. When something happens, they're running in different directions. We don't have that here. We literally, if there's something going on, I could give you examples. One would be the Luke Bryan concert last year. Okay,
there you go.
We had a very short window to plan for 20,000 people coming into an unimproved farm field on the west side of Fowlerville. Okay, that's incredible. When you think about the traffic, those roads are dirt roads. It's a lovely area. 20,000 people all at once. So there's some safety concerns, and everybody came together. Everybody came around the table. Fire, police, medics. We had our DART folks there. That's they do the canteening for the responders.
Right,
they're kind of like a Red Cross.
Right,
disaster. What is it? DART. They're going to kill me. Can't remember what it stands for. Right. Disaster Assistance Response Team.
Yeah.
There it is.
I couldn't remember the A, but
yes, the Disaster Assistance Response Team. Lovely. They came out and helped us. Our amateur radio folks were out there just in case our comms went down. We had some redundancy. Anyway, within weeks, we actually were able to work with the concert organizers, work with the family, the Kubiaks, get our response team together, set up some plans, and it happened.
Amazing.
Happened.
Without a hitch.
So in your role, so is this fall in your realm of let me diagram this and everybody then says they buy into the diagram, or does it,
it's another collective. So to be honest with you, what we'd call the incident commander in this was the Livingston County Sheriff's Department. And again, hats off to Sheriff Murphy and his crew for taking the lead on that. They do a wonderful job. They are the actual point.
Okay, that's what I mean. Somebody's got to be the person.
They are the command point. My job is to make sure that I'm facilitating everything and I'm bringing everybody to the table. So that though they're in the lead, I'm helping to make those connections so that we can get everything together. And I'm helping our incident management team, which is led by Brighton Fire, another excellent agency. That's actually led by Deputy Chief Mike Evans, and he helped, put the different plans from the different agencies together into one large operations plan for everyone. So it's my job to bring everybody to the table. It's my job to make sure everybody's talking. It's my job to make sure if there's resources that are needed that I can find those and bring those to the table. So it's just a wonderful collaborative effort by everyone. And I'm very proud to be part of that.
That's really great.
Oh,
so, clearly, so I guess this would be in your office. So, in that case, everybody's worried about safety and probably craziness, but the most important thing, like, that you must have to, you contact, like, the FAA, and they work with making sure, like, there's a zone that nobody flies over. I mean, there must be, somebody's doing that. I doubt if maybe the sheriff does it, but I'm wondering who.
And that is because we have a UAS system, or what people like to commonly call drones. It's unmanned air systems. Right. So, yes, we have to make sure, because they're going to put those up over. I was going to say that I would assume they're going to use those, especially in a field in a farm somewhere. You want that. Yeah. And they have, obviously they contact and get the right permits and all of that type of thing. The township was involved, Handy Township was involved, because obviously there needs to be permitting for that, even though it's on private property. Sure. Again, so everybody comes together, everybody comes around the table. That's, again, very, I'll say it's rare, because I believe that it is. I don't think that you see that kind of cooperation in just any old county in the state. And I think that we are exceptional. But you did hit something on the head about safety. The number one thing that I do, and that anybody in this position, emergency management or a responder, it's all about life safety. Because when we're having those events, we want people to have a good time. We want them to be safe. Right. So we put things in place that will try to make them, they're a flawless event, right, for them, that it's fun, they can have a good time or whatever, and remain safe without having really to think about it. So we try to make sure those things are, whether it's traffic barriers or just being able to direct people in a certain direction. We had a similar thing down in Hell. Mountain Dew decided that they were going to Pepsi, the Pepsi company. Yeah. I had the event down there to release the new Flaming Dew, Mountain Dew flavor, which I heard tastes like pop with a little kick to it, orange pop, I should say. But again, we had a very short window to plan for that, and they were coming regardless. We also found out that it was advertised nationwide. That was kind of a surprise. We didn't know that. And Hell is a lovely little town. Yeah. Little. Emphasis on very little, yes. Tiny, don't blink. Yes, and then on a very tiny, windy little road. So immediately, potential was noticed that this could be bad if we don't do some things to kind of control the number of people that are there and get them there in and out safely. And we were able to work with concert organizers who were very good. In that particular case, Putnam Township took the lead. They were the commander on that. And then, of course, the sheriff's department and other responders jumped in to assist, and I helped facilitate. So it was a wonderful event. They put up safety fence so people didn't accidentally fall into the really pretty dam. I know. So those are the things you have to think of. I know that sounds crazy, but that it's all about keeping people safe.
Well, and and it's interesting because these are both, how shall we say, expected events that you then planned around, but I know Carol's mentioned it to me, like how many trains go through our community every day, or I'm sure you're aware of things I'm not even thinking of that are safety issues for us that let us sleep quietly at home, and you have a plan for the unexpected ones that you must be planning for. Do you have like a hierarchy of the unexpected potentials that you plan for? Is that the idea?
Well, yes, we have.
I'm trying to figure out how you would know.
Yeah, well, we have an emergency operations plan. Again, we have all the partners are involved in that. They sign off on it. That went before the board last summer, so it's current and it's a living document. Sure. So we're constantly updating and making sure. What that does is it sets up expectations. But of course, we're always worried about things like hazmat release. And 100% right, it can come from a train. It can come from an automobile or a truck riding through our area. And we do have those. We've had those over the last couple of years where there's a crash and maybe some hazard material is loose. Sure. But we have a hazardous materials response team here locally, and we have some very well-trained firefighters that are able to get in very quickly and mitigate that really before anybody knows that there's a problem. So we have had, I always say, we've had some really exciting events. with some very low impact. And we have the low impact because, well, sometimes we're just lucky. But let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Luck is good.
But mostly it's because we have such well-trained responders here on the fire and law enforcement and the medics. And our dispatchers are just wonderful in getting the information out that's needed. We have the ability through our mass comm system, our public alerting, not tornado alerting. This is different. You have to sign up for it. You can do that through my website, on our county website, livegov.com, emergency management. But that's the RAVE system. But if there's something like a hazardous materials release and we're worried about an area being exposed, we can literally draw a circle around that area, a radius, and send an alert only to those
that's wonderful.
Residents.
Yeah, that's
to
clever.
tell them.
And you initiated that program, did you not?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. That
yeah,
was
so-
back in 2016, 2017.
I think I'm
Right,
signed up,
that's
yeah.
just amazing. I mean, so I think one of the interesting things about your job is always about preparedness. You know, in other words, you got to prepare for the unforeseen.
Right.
And so I think that constant communication and the meetings that you're involved in all the time, the what ifs, and if this happened, you had that pile up on 96 a few years ago,
Yeah.
52 cars.
Yes, December of 2016.
That was just massive.
It was, and again, like I say, I keep saying this, but and I was out there back then. That was before we had an EOC, and I was literally running my EOC out of my vehicle and calling in resources. Our Let's Transportation, another wonderful asset that we have in this county. We're actually able to come to the scene and remove people who had been involved in that accident, and get them off of the highway where it was very cold, blowy, dangerous. We had all of those vehicles, I think 43 in total, and just piled on top of each other. It was just a terrible accident and a bad day for us.
Sure.
But we were able to get them off the scene. Fowlerville Village offices opened their offices and used that as a reunification center and an area where the sheriff's department could go and safely take the information from the drivers or the passengers and try to put, match people to cars and all of that. The people in Fowlerville were wonderful. Water and pizzas were donated. So as they were waiting, and very trying and traumatic for those folks, we tried to make them as comfortable as possible.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
So
that'd be the example of our guests coming to our community. They didn't know they were going to be our guests, but all of a sudden they were.
All of a sudden they were. But I use that as an example for a lot of things, and one of them is to make sure that if it's winter or it's summer, have some supplies in your car.
Yeah.
If you are driving in the winter, please be dressed as though you might have to suddenly get out of your car, because unfortunately in this circumstance we had people that were not dressed for this really terrible cold weather, blowing winds. I mean, snow flurries were coming in sideways. It was really an event with the weather, which is what precipitated the accident. But please.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, and so, I mean, I guess sooner or later, I guess everybody gets to the subject probably when they talk to you, but with all the school shootings and all that, do you have is there a role for the emergency manager? Is that part of your planning, or is that something totally different at random? So, well,
that is another facet of my emergency manager's job.
I would kind of guess, but I was just asking.
Yes. So
and it doesn't have to be a school. Any shooting, mass shooting's got to be now. It seems to be a conversation because we can't avoid it, right? It's in the news every day now.
It is, and that honestly, that's worst case scenario.
Yes.
We've been, when I say we, responders have had that on their radar since 1999 when Columbine occurred.
Yeah.
At that point, it became reality that it could happen anywhere, and we have not been disappointed in that thought because it just keeps happening. Mm-hmm. And so latest for us, closest would be Oxford.
Yeah, which is amazing. Of course,
right.
It's in our state now. Yeah,
yes. So we can say, well, we're not untouched in this. So we do practice different drills in that. Just with the schools themselves are required to do 10 drills a year. And 5 of those are fire drills, 2 of them are weather drills, and 3 of them are what they call shelter in place in the event of an assailant or something else happening in the school, to make sure that the students are safe.
And this is under your responsibility to make sure these things get taken care of? Or?
Yes,
Okay,
and that's 10 per building. And our 5 school districts are wonderful. They work very closely with me. They get me the schedules for their drills. And I will also do a shout out for our private schools, who we have several excellent private schools in the area as well. And they too participate. They too take this very seriously. And we have school response meetings through the school year, 3 or 4 times a year. And they're all around the table. They're all invited. They come along with our school liaisons officers from Brighton City, Howell City, and the Sheriff's Department and the Michigan State Police. We all sit around the table. Some of the fire departments are also invited, and we discuss issues with the school. We also set up exercises for the school, kind of the what ifs, and we're happy to come in and train the faculty for that.
Sure.
Our schools are very proactive as far as safety. They all have valid emergency operations plans for their schools. They've done a great job in that. We're actually kind of ahead of the curve, I think, statewide. And the beautiful part about that is that enables our schools to be eligible for school safety and security grants.
Oh,
So in 2018-19, our county brought in $1.6 million for school security grants.
Wow.
We had another round just recently, the end of 2022 here, and our schools, again, who are very prepared, $883,000 and change
good stuff.
into the county. So they use that funding to make their schools more resilient, and it's been wonderful.
That's nice. That's great. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's a sad thing that since the news media every night has to find something, it seems like everything you're talking about are the things that we have to listen to first on the radio, whether it's a big fire or a shooting or you name it, and it sounds like they all fall under your I got to watch for that, So.
Well, it's like I say, it's part of our planning.
Yeah.
We're always working with our first responders and with our schools. Like I say, the more you plan for it, the more resilient you become. Now, you can never be 100% prepared.
Oh,
those types of incidents, if they occur, as long as you've been planning, you're going to have some type of response, and the most important part is recovery. So you will recover from it quicker than you would if they just caught you flat-footed.
Oh, okay.
Also, again, we go back to safety, life safety in particular. Sure. The more that you think about, okay, if this happens, what do we do? How do we do it? The schools are on board. The responders are on board. We hope to stave, off. We want to be able to save more lives through those actions. Mm-hmm. So through that preparedness.
So, okay, I won't keep asking, but it's like infrastructure threats, are those under yours too? I mean,
Yes.
I use that example. I mean, I could be more specific. Like pick something like one of the water towers gets contaminated somehow. I mean,
Yes.
Is that like part of your auspices? Is
It can be. The health department also, I failed to mention our wonderful health department.
There we go. I can take it all in different departments. I'll just keep going.
Our health department, also an excellent partner. That would fall under them, really, but we are part of that because we can help get the information out as far as boil alerts and things like that. And if there's assistance that they need from us, we would certainly give that. So other infrastructure things, and we just completed our hazard mitigation plan. It's a very large plan and about 239 pages, I believe. It's great reading.
That sounds really exciting.
It is very exciting. It actually is. It has a lot of details about Livingston County for population and types of natural disasters that we face. Also, where some of our critical infrastructure is, and it's really kind of an interesting document because it kind of shows the resiliency and the capabilities that we have in Livingston County. And the last couple chapters talk specifically about goals and objectives that we have for this hazard mitigation plan and what we hope to accomplish to make the county more resilient. So it is a really wonderful document if you ever want to read it.
Did the document have a section for pandemics before 2019?
No, it didn't, and neither did my emergency operations
Nobody
plan.
had a plan for a pandemic.
Yeah. Right now we're putting that under catastrophic incident.
Right.
But yeah, there is actually there's a piece in there for a little bit of everything now because now we've experienced
But
it.
share with us, Teresa, how large your department is. This is what's amazing.
My department is me and my planner and partner, Christy Wahosky, who is 24 hours a week. So I'm a department of 1.5.
Wow.
So think of that. I mean,
Okay.
think of the scope of Livingston County
I would
and
not be
all
able to
of
sleep
these
because I'd
players.
be worried about everything that could happen. I'm like, you need more people to worry for you so you can sleep.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Right?
One eye open.
What was that about? Oh, yeah, that 3 o'clock startle. Oh,
I mean, that is, I think, simply
amazing,
amazing.
yeah.
The responsibility you have and the preparedness and the collaboration that you have and the respect you have. We wouldn't have this department without the respect that you command from others and from your background and from your personality and your knowledge and so forth. So, you know,
Well,
we're
do
fortunate
thank
here.
you. It's amazing. I can't
Yeah.
believe, I can't imagine what you know. So it's amazing. So that's great. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I think, and again, it's like I'm able to do my job through the support of others. So just like you said, the other responders and like you say, our community organizations, and that honestly, they make me successful because they are successful. So, and at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's not about them, it's about what we can do for the community and how we can protect our citizens and our visitors. So whether it's our schools or our communities, whether it's the residents or it's our businesses, all very, very important to us. And we want to make sure that everyone is as resilient as possible and that living in Livingston County is a wonderful experience and that they are happy to raise their families here.
Well, I've always felt safe, and now I know who to thank.
You got a lot of people to thank. There's a lot of people out there doing this.
So it sounds like you feel the plan's good enough that you can sleep at night. So we always ask everybody, what's your favorite thing you like to do in Livingston County when you have time? Do you have a hobby, or what's your favorite thing to do?
You know, recently, this is so sad. Well, I only say that I
Sleep.
like.
No.
No, I actually, it's actually a lot of fun. I like it. I've been made fun of. That's why I say it's sad. But I have recently this year started bird watching. So I have started like putting out different types of feed to see what kind of birds I can bring in, and I really enjoy that. And then I've got like a couple of married, I always say they're married couples, cardinals and some mourning doves and a little goldfish. Like, oh, I get so excited, and my husband just shakes his head. Like, what has happened to you?
Yeah, you know, if it's fun for you, that's all.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. So I like to do that.
That's great.
And I like to garden.
Nice.
Spend some time in my garden and just kind of,
Yeah.
be peaceful.
Decompress.
Take
yeah.
a rest.
Decompress,
Yeah. And chase grandbabies around when I'm
No,
able to
that's
do
fun.
that.
That's
so
great.
That's fun too. So
And the other T-ball I give everybody is, where's your favorite place to go have dinner in the county?
oh, that's hard.
Everybody says this.
Everybody
because
says that.
We have so many options, you know.
Yes,
so,
they
yeah.
really are. Oh my gosh, there's just, I can go right down the strip. And I like to eat. I mean, my
Well,
goodness.
that's
So,
a problem. Glad I never get asked this question.
yeah, gosh, can I throw like out 5 or 6? Is that okay?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I like to go to Grecian. I think Grecian Island has
Yes.
great spinach
Spinach
pie.
pie.
I love La Marsa.
Nice.
They have delicious Mediterranean,
Yeah.
some of the best I've ever had. Tomato Brothers, of course, and hell can't be beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stillwater, of course.
Of
How do you
course,
say no to
yes,
Stillwater?
yes.
Yeah, there's just so many places. Oh, garden gourmet garden.
Oh, yeah.
For
Chinese.
For Chinese.
Chinese.
Oh, gourmet
Yeah,
garden.
yeah,
me too. That's good too.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been around since we've gone to them since they opened.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a good one in Hell is Chinese Delight again.
Yep.
Another just really great choice. Because I love to eat.
Well, it's
I know
fun,
that, that seems strange.
No.
And I'm getting hungry.
That's good. Well, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Therese,
I
for
feel like
being
we
here.
barely scratched what you do, but I thank you for taking the time to tell us. And it's just wonderful that we can sleep safely at night, knowing there's a plan out there that you do it. So thank you so much, Therese.
My pleasure. And thank you for having me. It was
you're-
wonderful to chat with you both.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
And,
Thank you.
I guess with that, Salon, another version of our Land and Legacy. Thank you very much.